So today we're going to do something different. We're going to go behind the scenes. Welcome back, friends. I have some exciting news. So this is my little studio, as you know. Well, I found a new one. Much closer to home. I will be with other artists. I will not have to be quiet. All kinds of things. I will definitely enjoy this new space. I'm actually going to have two spaces. So I'm going to have a private room like this, a little bit bigger than this, but probably not that much bigger, maybe an extra 2 feet, like a 12 by 12 instead of a 10 by 12. I think the ceilings are higher or something. It just feels a lot bigger. Haven't actually measured with the tape measure. It just looks bigger. That's all I can say. It looks bigger. And then I'm going to have my easel and probably this unit that's back here also in this other area where I will be among other artists. It's like a big open space, big window, lots of light coming in, big work tables that I could use, a utility sink. Oh my goodness. I won't have to use a little tiny bathroom sink anymore to try to clean my brushes and my brayers. And so I'm really excited because it's set up more for art. There's no fancy flooring here. I have to be super careful not to get paint on the floor. So there I can do whatever I want. I can drop as much paint on the floor as I want. They've ripped up the flooring that was there and went down to the bare like concrete. And they actually, the guy that's put this together actually did sort of an abstract thing on the floor, just showing that this is a creative space and that we can drop paint. So that's exciting. And there's, I think, going to be a total of 10 artists in there, but I'm the only one that has like the closed-in studio so that I can shoot my videos. And so, of course, I'll be paying more money than everybody else, but I'm just so grateful that the guy that put this, he's calling it the Art Collective, that the guy that has put this together is actually allowing me to have that space. I just couldn't believe that he offered me that space. So anyway, it's going to be wonderful. I do have at least one other person that I know that is also going to be in this space. And so I'm really excited. I won't be working in a vacuum anymore. There will be other people around. Maybe not all the time, because some people, you know, they have a day job and they come in at night, and other people might only come in the morning. One guy told me he's there early and he leaves around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So everybody's going to have like a different schedule, and it's going to be wonderful. But anyway, so you will see me in these two different spaces on occasion. And I'm just like really excited. I'm still waiting to find out when I can move out of here because my lease isn't up yet. So I may have to pay both spaces in the meantime. I just can't wait to get out of here. I don't even want to be here anymore, and that's not a good thing. So, and the reason for that is I don't feel like I belong here, I guess. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you're stuck in a place that you don't want to be. That's what this place is. I'm in a box. I feel like I'm just in a box. There's no common area that I can go and sit in. It's just uncomfortable. The people here are friendly and nice. I mean, they're not overly friendly the way artists are, but they've been nice to me. They're just not, it's just different. It's the only way I could put it. And then I don't have a utility sink, so that's a big deal. I didn't realize how big a deal that was. So it has been so busy around here because I don't know if you know, but I recently launched a course on how to make stencils, you know, how to cut your own stencils with Cricut. And you can design them on a computer, you can design them in Procreate. Anyway, putting that together, it was my first course. So I thought I was organized. I thought I had like a well thought out outline. I ended up redoing and redoing and redoing. So it took me a lot longer than it should have, but it's launched. As of last week, it's launched, and I am very happy with the results so far. I've been getting a steady flow of new students. So anyway, this is my first course. This is my starter course. And I wanted to have that experience and not be doing gel printing. The reason for that is I want my gel printing classes, to be excellent. And if I'm having any difficulties in course building, I want that to happen in a different program. I think in the end it came out fine because I redid them so many times until it was, I think, cohesive. I have to, if any of you are my students and you don't think it's cohesive, send me that feedback, please. Because whatever I put out, I try to put out my best. But I'm working in a vacuum here, so I need people to tell me when I'm not doing a good job. Okay? So I just curious. I have more courses planned. This was my starter course. And I was hoping in July that I was going to be able to really push through another course. But with the move and everything, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that. We shall see. We'll see just how busy the month of July is. But anyway, so what I'm thinking, these are maybes. I'm thinking of a beginner gel printing course. That's maybe only an hour and a half long. Something that's not overwhelming, but gives you the basics, the very, very basics, you know, how to roll out paint evenly, how to use the stencils, timing on pickups and things like that, the kind of paper you should use, you know, basic stuff. And then we'll do like at a later date, a master class where it's a much longer class. And of course you could skip around, but there might be techniques in there that are a little more advanced. So that's the plan as far as gel printing courses. And then of course collage. I mean, I can go anywhere with the collage, but I thought maybe my first one would just be how to turn your papers into an intuitive collage. How to start a steady practice with quick collages so that you can get better. You know, train your eye to really get better at collage, composition, color, like what colors go together, that kind of thing. You know, like what stands out too much? Like maybe is the eye being pulled to one corner and not to another, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I think that would be also another, you know, not too long a course. So what I've been doing lately, in addition to making videos and gel prints, is I've been working on this. And this is all paper, but it's on a canvas. I painted, as you can see here, this part. This is the canvas, and I just painted, first I painted the canvas all red. I'll show you a little bit of this along with just like a messy orange, yellow, reds. I think it's quinacridone red, and I just made a messy background. I was going to keep going with that, with the layers, and then changed my mind. This will be, I am going to paint on top of this. When I say paint, I'm going to do a figure on top of it. I wanted to do first the collage. And down here, I did something a little bit different. I used different colors and acrylic inks. And I kind of almost did like almost like stripes down here. And then I did some drips also. And I just kind of left it really messy because I was going to put these papers. So these papers are Deli paper that go completely transparent, but the black is pretty solid, although a little grungy. And so I just love the way this part looks. So this is going to go all the way across, and I am going to finish that today. So I thought, now that I've talked enough, you could just kind of look over my shoulder and watch me finish this, because I just have I just have some sections that have to be finished. And that will be it for this video. And then I will show you the painting part of this once I get to it. And maybe I'll be in the studio, the new studio with the light when I'm doing that part. But I wanted to get this part done before I move the easel and move that cabinet. You can see here, that was with my comb. I love my comb. So this is the comb. I love the marks that it gives you on the paper. That happened to be on this paper. So I dug out this one that is a very kind of neutral paper, and it has those marks. And I'm going to probably add it somewhere. I'm going to take a strip of it and add it somewhere on here. I have also some of these, and I'm probably going to dig out some other papers too. So I'm not really sure. I'm going to move on to that, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is voiceover Susan here. So I'm going to try to, explain my thought process while I was working on this. So I wanted to start with getting that these black rubber band papers across the bottom, because that was like a no-brainer that I had planned in advance. The rest of it I'm not really sure. I have various papers that are maybes, and that in that area we will definitely need to explain more about what I was thinking. But don't you just love how the Deli paper goes completely transparent with the gel gloss medium? And this really made me happy. I was very, very pleased with the way the bottom part of this worked out. Now, as a composition, if you just look at this painting as an abstract, this bottom part is maybe too heavy. But because of the figure that's going to be painted on top of it, there's a reason for that. It's almost like this is the kind of the floor she's standing on. And if you see that teal blue that's going across the bottom, just about 12 inches up, it's kind of like where the wall hits the floor kind of thing. At least that's what the plan was. Like I said, it's going to be a figure, but it's mostly from, I guess, somewhere like mid-thigh down to the floor, down to her feet, and she's going to be wearing white sneakers and jeans, absolutely jeans. And I'm still not sure. I did order the fabric for the fabric mosaic. I'm still not sure if I'm going to use it, but that was originally the plan. But now I'm wondering, as I look at this, is it going to be too busy? Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to take this one step at a time. But the words that I put on that fabric mosaic are all about being yourself. Not being afraid to be yourself. I don't have them handy right now to read to you, but when I do the painting part, if I end up using it, I will definitely share with you exactly what it says. So if you're not familiar, if you don't know what I'm talking about, fabric mosaic, what are you talking about? Who are you? My work for the last probably 8 to 10 years has been fabric mosaic. I created figures with bodies, wherever the skin shows, that was made up of fabric mosaic, and the fabric has words on it, like phrases, positive thoughts, affirmations, whatever you want to call them. But there's always a subject. So this one is being yourself, be yourself. And, that is something that I think gets kind of that energy of positiveness gets embedded in the artwork, and it's like it sort of takes on its own little energy. And at least I hope so. For me, it does. I know what it does for me, but I don't know if everyone feels that way about my work, and the people who have purchased my work if they, still feel that energy. But anyway, so I don't want to totally move away from that, but I want to just introduce it as a really small thing. And the reason for that is those paintings used to take me like 2-3 months to complete. And, I just don't get a lot done in a year's time. So I want to change that. I want to be able to create paintings, more paintings per year, a lot more paintings. So if that's the case, then I have to either get faster at the fabric mosaic, or I have to just make it a much smaller area. And probably some artworks will have to have a bigger area, and some I can keep it small. And we'll see. I'm going to take it piece by piece. But that's my thought anyway. So now, I wrap the corners, as you just noticed, like a package. And but now I have to fill up these like areas here. Now this is that neutral piece that I was talking about. I cut a strip about the same width as the piece to the left of it right now. It's going to be at the top, but right now it's on the left. And I want it to kind of almost looks like it's continuing down behind those other papers. It's hard to tell that it's the same, comb. It's more subtle, so it's not really showing up on camera right now. But if you saw it in person, you'd recognize that it's the same mark. And so everything that you see that's orange right now, well, not everything, but a lot of it is going to get covered up with papers. And some of the orange areas will remain, and I might even put some deli paper on top of that. So I wanted, like between the very, very top piece and the area that I was just working in, I have these more horizontal areas that I wanted to fill in. I want to add some contrast. So I was like just pulling out papers and trying out things, looking at them for color, contrast, just trying to make the right decisions. This paper I absolutely love, and so I kept trying to use it, but I wasn't sure about it. And this one is a definite. I definitely want to use that one. Not sure that that's the right place for it, but I frequently put papers temporarily in position, then I kind of sit back, maybe move the canvas away a little bit so I could really get sort of a better view. This is another paper that I love that I was thinking of using, but I think the color's all wrong. But this one I definitely decided to use it, but it needed to be in a different area. So I just like slid it over to the left a little bit more. And I think this one is on medical exam paper, where some of the other papers, a lot of the other papers were on newsprint. So I do this a little bit at a time and smooth it out with both the brush and a catalyst wedge. Get out all the wrinkles and the bubbles. So I keep picking up this piece, so I really think, it kind of will work in that top area, because I have just about a little bit more than a half an inch above there that I needed to fill in. And you might see me using an X-Acto knife to cut some of these papers, and this is canvas. So I will, like, if you attempt this, I will warn you, you have to be very, very delicate with the knife, because you do not want to cut through the canvas. These papers are so thin, and I can go very, very lightly and still cut through the paper without going through to the canvas. So here I am with this paper again. I really love this paper, but it is not right for this particular painting. I thought I could get away with it, but it just, it's like too blue.
No.
So here I am with this gorgeous paper again. And also I have this rubber band paper. So I'm trying to decide, but I think this is the winner. It's just a grungy, I was cleaning the plate from when I made the rubber bands, and I still had a lot of black on the plate, so I laid down some white and picked it up. So not everything has to have a pattern. You know, if you just have a paper that's really subtle like this one, grungy, subtle, you know, don't have pattern, have some simpler things like that. Paper that's kind of more in the middle, that is yellow with some teal, that was a cleanup sheet. That was me cleaning the plate, and I loved that paper. So it was one of the first ones I put down because I just had to have it. So this is a Deli paper that I didn't do gel print. I just took a brush with some black paint and just made some big brush marks. And I think I used about 3 of them in the end. So in this spot right here, I took that Indian yellow that was a ghost of rubber band paper, and
Nice.
I'm just putting a sliver. So it has a little bit of black on it, but it's mostly Indian yellow. And it was a beautiful piece of paper, especially after cutting it into a tiny little strip. So here I finally get to use my absolutely gorgeous paper, which again was a cleanup sheet. I don't know if you saw the video where I created this paper and a lot of these other papers. I will put at the end, I will put the 2 videos where I created papers that I ended up using here. So that green strip that I'm taking down right now, it was just too much. It was a little too, the color intensity, it was all wrong. Now, since I have a little bit of teal in that grungy paper in the center, I decided to add this Deli paper that has the teal with a little bit of purple. It's just, and plus it's very, very thin paper, and you see through some of the areas, you can see the orange through it. So it really worked out perfectly. And I have enough of it to go all the way across. So in this case, when I was cutting that strip, it was really easy because I used the width of my ruler and I just made the paper that size. These other smaller little strips, I had to kind of eyeball it. Now this is, again, a Deli paper with just black paint. And so a lot of it is going to go completely transparent. And as you could see, as I rubbed my finger over it, it went more transparent. And with the Deli paper that I use, you do not have to wet it first or anything. It just goes transparent with some gel gloss medium is the best. But I will say that if you try to overlay it, on top of a really dark paper like a black paper or something that was Payne's gray or something really dark, it'll look a little cloudy. But when you put it over bright colors like this orange and yellow and red, it just goes transparent. So I know when to use it and when not to use it. So I don't think I had any of this purple color anywhere else on here, but it still kind of worked. Maybe because you could see the orange through some of the areas that didn't have any paint. So that little strip I just added was very similar to the other one that had a little bit of black on Indian yellow. All right, so now I decided that left upper corner, it was screaming that it needs something. So I put this out there to see if, maybe I could draw the eye up there and kind of bring it around across the top and down the side to the other rubber band paper. But then I didn't like the way that looked. It was a little too much. And I found this paper and I liked the introduction again of the, blue, green, teal, whatever you want to call it. So I decided to just go for it. I tore it. It's the only place where I used a torn paper. But I think it's okay. That corner was just a little too plain. So then I wanted to introduce more of the sort of grungy yellow color. And I'm just going to wrap it around the corner. So at this point, I'm just sitting back kind of looking at it. What does this need? What is missing here? This is, sometimes I push it a little further away so I could get a better view. Sometimes I photograph it with my iPhone so that I could really see what's missing. I hold it up to a mirror maybe. In this room, don't have that option. But when I used to work at home, I used to put them up to a mirror and see what was missing. It also helps to have it to see it sort of backwards. I've talked to other artists who also do this, so it's not unique to me, but it does help you see what's missing. And so I found another one of those brush papers, and I thought maybe this is what it needs, and I just tacked it up there real quick. So, push the easel away. But yeah, it was perfect. So here's the scan. This is the detail. I hope you like it. I'm very pleased with it. Okay, so I'm tempted to just leave it the way it is and not even paint on top of it, but the intention was always to do the painting on top of it, so I'm going to. Now the painting is going to be a figure, and I want to see some of these papers through it. So that will be, this is like a totally different thing for me. Like I'm in the evolution stage. I've said that for a while. I finally am getting to where I need to be. A lot of these small studies that I have been doing are all leading up to this. You might recognize some of these papers from some of the more recent videos that I've done with Tyvek papers, and there was a video before the Tyvek paper, which I think I was just making papers for this, and then didn't use many of them. The Tyvek session gave me quite a few, that one in that upper corner there. it gave me quite a few that really excited me and took this in a totally different direction. But I'm very, color-wise and everything, I wasn't going to use any Indian yellow. And as you could see, and that was because I had Indian yellow on the canvas. But as you can see, I did use a dirty one. It's like a dirty Indian yellow. Was not planning to. This new paper here was from a recent thing that I haven't put out there yet. It's going to be just an Instagram reel, but it was actually me cleaning the plate, and I actually made these really nice deli papers. I think these are deli papers, because deli paper cleans the plate really well. Like if you have, instead of like pulling out the baby wipes and cleaning the plate, I pick up what's left on the plate with the deli papers, and I get some, this was 3 layers of colors, I think. And I just kept picking up with the same deli paper. So you can get wonderful papers that way by just cleaning your plate. I think I said that in every video, probably. And because it is so true, and it is something that they're my favorite papers usually. I think it's finished up to this point. I took a picture of it. I'm going to put it up on my computer with my figure and see if I like it still, or see if anything needs to change before I start painting on it. I will probably put an entire coat of matte medium so that when I go to paint on top of this, I will have a canvas with some tooth, because some of this, I've been using gloss gel medium, and it's just going to, the gloss, and then you put acrylic on top of that, and it just slides all over the place, and it doesn't really grab like a canvas does. So I'm going to put the matte medium down to get some tooth, and then I will paint my figure. And she's going to be wearing sneakers down here, so and her ankles are showing, so you might even see some fabric mosaic. That's the plan anyway. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this, like, behind the scenes, and I hope you saw enough of this up to this point, and then I will do another video where I'm painting the figure, so I hope you'll come back and join me for that. Don't forget to create, inspire, and share, and I will keep you posted on my new studio. Bye-bye.